Okay, this is stats, and in this section we're going to be doing transforming data. And I'm not really too fond of the example, the numbers, so I'm going to kind of make up my own on this one. So we'll see how it goes. It still applies, though. The picture still applies. So transforming data converts original observations from the original units of measure to another scale. So transformations can affect the shape, center, spread of a distribution depending on what it is. So here's what the effect of adding or subtracting a constant to your data will do. So let's say you have a bunch of data points, and I'm going to use my example and it will make more sense. So let's say I give a test and everybody gets random scores. Okay, that's fine. But then I realize that everybody missed one of the problems, and it was worth 2 points. So everybody missed it, and to make sure that I give you those 2 points, I could either take it away from the original score. Let's say everybody's score was out of 25, right? Let's say a bunch of people scored, I don't know, I'm just going to come up with some numbers. Let's say people scored 18 out of 25. Somebody scored a 19 out of 25. Somebody scored like a 24 out of 25, right? Now, what I could do is I'm going to say, okay, everybody missed the last question, and so everybody's just going to get an additional 2 points, right? But my score has pretty much stayed the same out of the 25. So now my data is going to get changed into, this is going to get switched into 20 out of 25 because I accounted for those 2 points in that 25, right? Those 2 points were in that problem out of the 25 that I suggested. Or be 21 out of 25, and now this is going to be this person couldn't have gotten a 24 out of 25, obviously, because that would be weird. Okay, so they got a 23 out of 25 because they missed that last question that was 2 points. So now they're at 25 out of 25. All right, so basically all I did was I added a constant to the data scores. Nothing else happened other than, I moved some numbers around. Everything shifted, right? So basically what that would look like is the following. Okay, ignore the whatever left is over here. What I need you to do is pay attention to what happened. So let's say this was my original, right? Let's say these were my original scores. 18 out of 25, 19 out of 25, 23 out of 25. And I added 2 points to everybody's paper, right? So now this is what happened. Okay, all that happened was it shifted. There's only two things that, not two things that changed. Two things that changed basically. One was the center. So before the center was, I don't know, somewhere maybe around here. Okay, but now your center is somewhere over here. All right, so your center went from 0 to, I don't know, what is that, 15? 14, somewhere around there. That's one thing that happened. And the second thing that happened was the location, meaning everybody was kind of clustered around here between -5 and +5. And now everybody is kind of clustered around here between, 8 and, 20. So the location, your range is still the same. You still go from, if you take this smallest number and this largest number and you subtract it, it's still the same. Your IQR stays the same. Your mean and your median, the range, your IQR will still be the same. Your center will have changed though. Your median is no longer, I should say M for median. Your median is no longer 0, but it's now at, 8, 14 or 15, wherever is that at. Okay, so that's what happened when I just added the scores, and I just added 2 points to the score, right? It just shifted. The distribution is still the same. The graph is still is bimodal, and it's still semi-symmetric type of thing. All right. Now, what happens if I take the same scores, right? So what did I have? I had 18 out of 25. I had 19 out of 25. And I had 23 out of 25, right? Okay, now, what happens when you multiply? And this is my idea of multiplication. So I look at this and I say, well, I don't want this to be out of 25. I want this to be like a little bit higher. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2, right? So this is going to be out of 50 now. So 18 out is going to be 36 out of 50, right? I don't know what 19 times 2 is. There's no way. I probably know it somewhere in the back of my head. 38 out of 50, right? I'm taking everything and I'm multiplying it by 2. And then multiply by 2 gives me 46 out of 50. All right. So this is, I took the scores of 3 tests and I just said, okay, I'm just going to multiply everything by 2 because I wanted to be out of 50 instead of out of 25. So I just doubled the points, right? Now, what happens when you do that? Well, this is the original, right? Let's say this was my original scores, 18 out of 25, 19 out of 25, 23 out of 25. And when I multiply, so I can double everything by 2, let's say, I get something that looks like that. The shape is kind of still the same, kind of, okay? Well, yeah, it stays the same. The shape is the same, but a bunch of other stuff have changed. The center has changed, the mean, the quartiles, the mean and the median have changed, right? Everything's kind of shifted around. And the most important thing that has changed is the spread. So, and that's over here, okay? So it changes the spread, it changed the center and the location of every of my mean, median, quartiles, percentiles. It changed it by a factor of B, and then my spread changed by a factor of the absolute value of B. So in this case, since I multiplied everything by 2, my B would be like the absolute value of 2, or just 2. But it doesn't change the shape. So it's going to stay relatively the same, the shape-wise. It's still bimodal, still roughly symmetric, but the spread has definitely increased, right? It's now between, instead of being between 0 and 25, is now between 0 and 50, for example. The numbers here obviously don't match that. But the center has changed. What else has changed? The median has changed, right? Because the quartiles and the percentiles have changed. So that is what happens when you transform data by multiplying or dividing, for that matter. All right? Okay, and that is the last part. I don't have a check for understanding for this section. So if you did the other 2, then you are good to go. Have a good day.